Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 35, The Power of Visibility and Vulnerability as a Highly Sensitive Entrepreneur, Part 2 of 2. In this episode, I will address why visibility and vulnerability, V and V energy, the willingness to be seen for who you really are, is so important for creating financial success as a highly sensitive entrepreneur. As I shared in the preface of part 1, I developed this teaching way back when I first began mentoring HSEs near 2010, as you may be able to hear in the quality of the audio. Yet, I thought the value of sharing this original teaching was too deep to pass up. Enjoy!
Number 2 is a commitment to practice. My biggest coach's request is you find as many people as possible to begin having selling conversations with. So if you have trepidation about V and V energy, then look to those people that you currently have some level and experience of safety with. Turn to somebody else in the energy-rich community and say, hey, would you be willing to have a conversation with me? Can we set up a time to do a practice P2P session? Or maybe just even to have a heart-to-heart chat. And from that first step of decision, step 2, move into active practice. Connecting with someone else in a space where you choose to be visible and vulnerable. Somebody else again in the energy-rich community, another colleague is someone that you can turn to, myself. Now, right here is really, really important. And what I'm about to say deserves stars around it. That's how important this is. And you're going to hear me speak to this many times as we continue on our S journey together. The ego mind will try to fool you that you're being visible and vulnerable through complaining. And that is a cop-out. Complaining, whining, bitching, moaning, that is not V and V energy. V and V energy is a willingness to be seen for who you really are. If you're whining, if you're bitching, if you're blaming, if you're complaining, 1, that's not who you really are, and 2, it's not about you. It's about someone else. But the ego mind will try to fool you and try to say, no, but this is how I feel. I feel annoyed about this, blah, 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 blah. And what that is that's dropping a drop of blue ink in beautiful, clear, pure water. And that ink, that poison, that negative, toxic energy will turn that pure, beautiful water dark and blue faster than you can blink an eye. Do not bring that into your business. Do not bring that into somebody else's business. And do not bring it into your life. And don't bring it into somebody else's life. Now, you know that I'm a big fan of not just squishing negative feelings or the dark side. I'm a big fan of shining light on them so that we can actually see the sun behind the clouds. But the shining of the light is not through complaining and bitching and whining and blaming. That is not shining a light. The light, similar to what Brené Brown says in her TED Talk, is through a willingness of true V&V energy to say, this is what's going on with me. So if, in that step 2 of practice, you find that you need to, or it would be helpful to just clear some of that negative energy, and if you're asking somebody else in the energy-rich community to support you, say, I realize what I'm about to say next can sound very negative. I'm really looking for help to be able to clear this energy. And then you take personal and energetic responsibility. I'm feeling, I'm thinking, I'm questioning. From step 1 of decision and step 2 of practice, then step 3 is to bring it out into your business. I recommend, if you haven't stepped into V&V energy yet in your marketing and your selling, that you start, as anything, step by step. So maybe you begin simply by being willing to share your energy-rich success story. The story where you talk about your gap, how you've moved through your gap, or ways that you're moving through your gap, your vision, where you are now. Just that in itself, from a true, honest place, not a bells and whistles place, is a beautiful way to bring V&V energy into your business. Another beautiful way to bring V&V energy into your business as a first step is during a selling conversation. When you've listened to your potential client's gap and you've listened to their vision, and then you say to them, from a place of willingness to connect, you say, I really understand how you feel. This makes sense to me. And I can tell you it makes sense to me because it reminds me of something that I've gone through myself. So this isn't you taking over the conversation. It's not you turning the selling conversation into being about you. It's not you dominating the space. It's simply your willingness to pull back the curtain so the person who's sharing with you doesn't feel so alone. So the first person who's sharing with you can see that you're real and that you're human and that you really truly do understand what they've been through. And they see that you're further along. And the way that you can ensure that you're not dominating the conversation, that you're not making it all about you, is again, to set it up by saying, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're talking about. This makes sense to me. And it makes sense to me because I can really relate with what you're sharing from my own experience. And then after you share your own experience, you check in. Is there anything that I shared that really spoke to you? Is there anything that I just said that really resonated for you? And that is V&V. That is you sharing, but not dominating. And that is you sharing to provide a connection so that the person that you're speaking to can really be heard. And of course, as you bring it into your business, sharing your success story or sharing on a one-on-one conversation is a great place to start. And then, of course, this extends and expands out into all parts of your business. But when you're in V&V energy, the power of it is that you recognize that it is about that connection. It is about what Brene Brown speaks to, which is that half of the reason why we're not willing to be vulnerable is because we actually fear disconnection. We fear that somebody else will tell us that we're not worth connecting to. So if you find yourself what feels like it might be talking too much, or maybe writing too much in your marketing that's about you, then just pull back. Don't stop. Don't disconnect, but just take a step back and say, how can I really bring the other person into this? How can I make this about connection versus about me? And that's a golden key right there to the power of V&V. Being willing to be seen for who you really are, ironically, at the end of the day, isn't about you. How crazy is that? At the end of the day, it's about us. It's about all of us. It's about bringing that energy of connection into all parts of your business. Because again, connection is the key to true relationships, and true relationships are the key to successful business. And it starts with you. So my coach's request is that you take yourself through those 3 steps. Maybe go back, listen to this recording, read the transcript, connect in, really getting clear. What is V&V energy for me? And then step 1, making the decision. This is how I choose to show up in my life. Like Brene Brown says, I choose to feel vulnerable because this means I'm alive. And that is how I choose to be. Step 2 is you practice. You practice in places that currently feel safe for you. And you're very aware in your practicing. It's not about whining and bitching, blaming and complaining. It's about, this is me. This is what's going on with me. Would you be willing to help me with this? Would you be willing to hear me on this? And then 3, look at where you can bring it in your business. Ideally, within the next 7 days, 30 if you really need it, but no more than that. And I invite you to share on the forum. Forum is a great place to, first of all, practice V&V energy. And it's a great place for all of us to up-level as we see what's going on with one person that's inspiring for another person. So share your V&V stories. This is how I stepped out. This is where I took off the mask. This is where I let the walls come down. This is where I pulled back the curtain. This is my experience, and this was the result. And then it's like really powering up that V&V energy because you made the step, you took the action, and you allowed yourself to be witnessed. That's cool stuff. That's powerful. So look at, in the next 7 days, 7 to 30, how can you step out in V&V energy in your business? Is it putting your success story on your website? sending your success story to friends, to family, to colleagues? Is it sharing a part of your success story in an email to your online community? It's about giving the direct ask, inviting someone into a P2P, inviting them to know more about your service. What is it for you? It doesn't matter. It just matters that you stepped into it. Because that's the beginning of everything changing. Like I said at the beginning of the call, why V&V energy? For more peace, more confidence, being more relaxed, and therefore being able to be of more service, and therefore being able to generate more money. And this is where it starts, my friends, right here. Deep breath in, and let it out. Awesome. So, I look forward to sharing and seeing those V&V stories on the forum. And of course, any questions or thoughts or concerns that you have, but most importantly, just be willing to be seen for who you really are. You're going to be amazed at how bright you actually shine. All right? Awesome.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.